Now, welcome back to the show. Now, Betty, briefly take us through a typical investigation process.
Okay, thank you, Christiana. So before an investigation can take place, there needs to be a complaint lodged. Now, people have many ways that they can lodge corruption-related complaints with the Commission. They can visit any of our offices. They can call our toll-free line, which is 1322. They can even lodge it through our website, which is ficac.org.fj. And now with our social media pages, they can also log in and get in touch with us to lodge their corruption-related complaints. Now, once a complaint is received by any of the means I've just mentioned, a legal assessment will have to take place to ascertain whether or not the complaint received is corruption-related or not corruption-related. So for complaints which are not corruption-related, these are referred to the relevant authorities, and this is communicated to the complainant. And if it is a police complaint or police-related matter, we refer to the police to handle it. FICAC only deals with corruption-related complaints. So once this legal assessment has confirmed that, the investigations commence once directions have been sought from the Deputy Commissioner of FICAC. So once that has been obtained, the investigators go through a whole process of obtaining evidence in the form of documents and videos and using technology to go through to get as much evidence as possible. And then once that is done, they bring in the suspect for a caution interview. So after that caution interview is completed, all this evidence, all this data is presented to the prosecutors of FICAC, who then go through everything and they make the final call on whether or not to see what charges can be formulated from the evidence compiled, and then they proceed with the court proceedings.
Now that is a very lengthy procedure.
Yes, investigations, the time it takes for investigations, it varies depending on the severity and depending on the type of complaint and the type of evidence. So it can take some time, but our officers do work tirelessly to get it done as effectively and as efficiently as possible.
Now, Betty, how has FICAC been able to fulfill its vision of ensuring the people of Fiji live a life free of corruption?
Well, that's a very good question, and of course FICAC has zero tolerance for corruption. So we apply that to everything we do. FICAC has two approaches, two ways of combating corruption, and that is through the reactive and proactive approach. So the reactive approach, I've spoken about it before, it is the prosecution and investigation side of things. So while we are prosecuting and investigating people for engaging in corrupt activity, we also have a team who are dedicated to the proactive approach of going out into society, to the different ministries, departments, offices, schools even, and into the communities, spreading the message of anti-corruption, telling people why corruption is bad, why you should fight it, and how you can fight it, report it. So zero tolerance to corruption.
Now, is there a possibility to eliminate corruption completely?
Well, that would be a dream come true, but I would like to say yes. But as I said before, corruption evolves, people evolve. If people are not full of integrity, if they are willing to break the law, then corruption will remain. However, we are adamant that if we can't eliminate it completely, we will definitely bring the levels of corruption down a lot through the National Anti-Corruption Curriculum. While the prosecution, the investigation, and the anti-corruption awareness sessions are going on, we are raising a generation of integrity through these students, through these young people. We are working on creating a generation of young Fijians who are able to step out of the classroom, step into the workforce, and they will be full of integrity. We are so proud and confident of our product because we know these students will be equipped to say no to corruption, to identify corruption. They will know what it is and they know exactly what to do when they encounter it. They will say no and they will report it to FICAC.
Now, with the programs that you come up with, how has it been able to address corruption?
Well, because we go out into the different sectors and the different levels and everywhere, FICAC goes everywhere to deliver these programs, it empowers people, it empowers those who encounter these programs, it gives them the knowledge, they know exactly what corruption is, and because it's tailor-made, the programs are tailor-made for the different audiences that will encounter the programs. So they are empowered with the knowledge and they are equipped with the tools on how to address the problem of corruption. So they can get in touch with FICAC to report the problem through 1322, and they can even request for backup sessions. Some people, they request for sessions every year or every other month, because it's important to have refresher anti-corruption programs, because like I said, corruption is always evolving, and we are always evolving our programs to be able to meet that and combat it.
Now, in your observation, has the nature of these corruption cases changed in any way? And if so, what does this tell us about the future?
The nature of corruption changing. So while the offenses that people are being charged with remain the same, it's the way they are engaging in or committing these corrupt acts that are changing. Technology is playing a huge part in that. People are finding different ways of exploiting the loopholes, exploiting the system to be able to get their own personal benefit. But the thing about that is, a lot of the people engaging in corrupt activity, they think or they do it with the belief that they won't get caught. But that is not true. You can commit a corrupt act maybe now, but say a few weeks, a month, even if it's a year. After that, you will get caught. FICAC is always on the lookout. We are doing our best to stop corruption, and we can't do it alone. Fighting corruption, we can only do our part through implementing all these different programs. But if Fijians are not willing, or if they don't join us in the fight against corruption, then we won't be able to reduce it, prevent it, and stop it. So if we all get on board, if all Fijians join FICAC in the fight against corruption, then we can hopefully see no corruption at all.
Now, my final question. How can people, you mentioned that you need people on board to help you address this issue, but how can people really help you address this?
Work with us. Work with FICAC. FICAC is not the enemy. FICAC, you shouldn't be scared of FICAC. We are approachable. Come forward, request for sessions, arm yourself with the knowledge, know what is corruption, how to identify it, how to report it. And we can give you these tools to be able to do that. So work with us. Be open to fighting corruption alongside us.
Thank you, Betty. Now, any other final comments before we wrap up the show?
Well, thank you very much for having us on the show. It's been great sharing the message of anti-corruption and talking about the National Anti-Corruption Curriculum, the Anti-Corruption Youth Ambassadors Program, and alongside our other training programs for the general public. So we invite people to work with us. Follow us on our social media pages for the latest in anti-corruption news, which there is a lot of. So follow us, work with us, and we can truly work together to fight corruption.
And that was your close-up show for this week. For feedbacks or comments, please feel free to call us on 330-5100 or email us at news@fijitv.com.fj. I sure do appreciate your company. Vinakavakalevu for your time. From the team and I, do have a productive week ahead, and good night.